first thing when you see one of these bones is you want to tell if it's a left or a right, otherwise you'll get everything ass backwards, literally. So when you look at this, you can see the ischial tuberosity down here, you can see the acetabulum here, you can see the ASIS here. So this is going to be anterior, posterior, and this is going to be lateral. So you can also see that kind of pelvic brim going across. Okay, so, and you can use any other combination to whatever works for you. All right, so for these structures, anterior superior iliac spine is going to be here, anterior inferior iliac spine is going to be here, right next to each other. Arcuate line is going to be this part on the ilium, forming the pelvic brim, and then on the pubis, it would be the pectineal line. So you just have to kind of know where they separate. So if you kind of draw the line through like that, it's kind of around there that they separate. Auricular surface is going to be this kind of sort of kind of ear-shaped structure here for the sacroiliac joint. You can see the greater sciatic notch is this big space at the back. So you've got the posterior inferior iliac spine, and you've got the ischial spine. So it's kind of in between that kind of zone. And then the lesser is going to be down here between the ischial tuberosity and the spine. The ischial ramus is going to be coming off of from the tuberosity here, running along here. So again, you just have to know where kind of these things separate. So if you kind of draw it halfway along, then this side would be an ischial ramus, and this one would be an inferior pubic ramus. Obturator foramen is the hole. That's pretty easy to spot. So I did the posterior ones. So you've got the posterior inferior iliac spine, and you've got the posterior superior iliac spine, again right next to each other. This big thing that I don't think I mentioned, but that's the iliac tuberosity. So obviously the nice bump at the front is the iliac tubercle. What else we got? Pubic symphysis would be in this location here against this flat surface. And the pubic tubercle is the kind of pointy bump just to the side of it. So symphysis on the midline, tubercle to the side of it.
This one that you didn't cover already.
All right, and so if we kind of flip this around, so I've been flipping it around already. So we already did acetabulum, but for the parts, the notch is this kind of gap here. So you see where you've got a C. So the C is going to be covered in articular cartilage, and then the notch is where it's not. So that's right there. Lunate surface is that actual C-shaped surface that's kind of moon-like. I did the anterior inferior iliac spines, so you can see that there. Greater sciatic notch there. Iliac crest is this whole thing. And then the inferior ramus of the pubis. So again, we identified the ischial ramus, and then the inferior ramus of the pubis is going to be there. The superior one will be the one going up, like this. Lesser sciatic notch, you can see at the back here. Obturator foramens, the whole posterior inferior iliac spine, back here. Posterior superior is up here. Pubic tubercle is again at the front. Ischial ramus we already did. Ischial spine's the pointy one, and ischial tuberosity is the big rounded one. So if you were drawing a position for the inguinal ligament, then you would connect this with this. And you've already answered the femoral would be the nerve going through.